Okay, sorry about that. I am back again. I shut my Wi-Fi off thinking maybe that would help because the weather is not so great here in Texas. And I actually live so far out that occasionally um, it affects me. So we are back to going live. I'm just kind of giving it just a second to load up. I want to make sure I can see everybody. So if I put it on my screen so I can see if anything, if it's working, if it's locking up, that good stuff. So I'm trying. It's being slow. Anyways, so I hope you're all having a great day. Like I said, it's super cold today. There is ice out there. It is miserable. So there is not a better time in the world than to be home and working, right? Um, I've been working on the computer, doing some graphic design work. And working on my shop and doing a bunch of stupid like organizing and things like that. I eventually will get this, guys, I promise. Maybe. I don't know what's going on. Maybe. But today we are going to do something super easy, super simple. Actually, we're going to create our own silkscreen stencils. So a lot of people know that I actually am part of Magnolia Design Company. That's something I'm always working with. I'm always doing it. I love it. It's so much fun. It's easy. Problem is nothing is really my design. I still use their products to make things work. When I really want to knock things out or they have a great design, I use it. But sometimes I have this idea in my head and I don't want to use just vinyl on my t-shirts or whatever. I do sell a lot of stuff in my shop. I also do a lot of sublimation and things like that. If you've ever checked out our shop, you'll find it. Excuse me while I drink my cocoa. It's cocoa, sugar-free cocoa, and peanut butter and chocolate. Yeah, peanut butter and chocolate Premier. I mix them together. So good. Protein, good for you. But anyways, so I make my own stencils out of vinyl and I use a silk screen. Like if you go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or something like that, they sell these silk screen for like, what do you call it? Screen printing, for screen printing. That's the word I'm looking for. They sell these. It's usually just kind of at home type stuff. You really don't have to go that far if you don't want to, but I really like the look of a silk screen t-shirt or a silk screen item or pillow, something like that. It just looks better than vinyl to me. Now, vinyl's great. I have a Cricut. I don't use it as often as I should, and I usually actually make things more like earrings and stuff with it. But today, I have actually printed off, and it's like on a green, just regular, or what is that called? Oracle 651, something like that. Definitely don't use the Cricut material because I probably shouldn't say that on, something that everybody can see, but I hate that vinyl. It's horrible. It's not very good. So basically, I just reverse weeded my design. I threw it together on my computer. I printed it out on my Cricut, and then I reverse weeded, which means I just took, the inside parts out instead of taking the outside parts out. And then I put some transfer tape over the top. Now, I am going to tell you my transfer tape is like super, super hard to work with sometimes. So this might be interesting, might take longer than we want. But I basically take this, which I do, like I said, I just print it out on Oracle 651 paper, not the permanent, not the heat press type stuff, just regular vinyl. And then I reverse weed it and put transfer tape on the front of it. And I'm just going to transfer it to my silk screen. There are benefits for doing this, but really and truly, we'll kind of go over a lot of that stuff in a little while. So I'm going to see, it's already not sticking completely to it. Might need to get one of my tools out. I don't know if it's because of this vinyl that I picked up, but it's not the cheap vinyl, so I feel like it should be good. But so basically, I'm going to put it on my silkscreen surface. Okay, I'm going to put it on the inside of it, and I kind of cut it so it should fit pretty much perfect. But if it doesn't, that's okay. And now the tricky part is pulling this off with this vinyl, and I should maybe grab some tools, but it might go. We'll see. Okay. And then just like you would if it was regular, just a regular surface vinyl type thing, you're just going to kind of lay it down on there. Make sure that all of that vinyl is coming up. There it goes. Okay. There we go. Make sure that C's working. And I probably didn't lay it right, but that's okay. Y'all, I'm very much trial and error. Nothing I ever do comes out perfect the first time. So, that's why I struggle to go live for a lot of people, is because everybody's like, well, you should go live. You do so much stuff. And I'm like, you don't realize how hard it is for me to get to that point, which is why I don't go live that often. But I'm trying to do better. And truthfully, this week I have been live, what is it, 5 days this week? 4 days? Hey, that's a breakthrough for me, because I don't do it that often. But husband's out of town and I'm bored at night. I don't sleep as well when he's not here, so might as well do something, right? Okay, eventually I'll get this. I don't know if I need better transfer paper or what. Like I said, I don't do a ton of work with vinyl. I have a friend up in Oklahoma who does a lot with it. She's really good. Usually I call her and say, what is going on? 9 times out of 10, she says it's either your vinyl or your transfer paper. And I am really, really trying for that not to be the case here. I've bought the better stuff, guys, I swear. Okay, I'm getting there. We're probably almost halfway if I can get all these little pieces to work. There we go. Okay. There we go. Coffee looks like it's going to do funny things. And I didn't really spend any time designing this. You know, you guys can find these probably much better little sayings and things that they have out, that much better than what I have. But I just threw it together quick because I wanted something quick and easy to show you what I'm doing and how to do it. Sorry, y'all. Getting my cute little weeding tool. Did I ever tell you this is why I don't like doing vinyl? Some people are much better at it than I am, but I tell you what, it's just, this is why I prefer sometimes to just have the stencils pre-done. I'd almost rather go with a pre-designed something than sit here and struggle with vinyl for hours. This is why I don't like doing vinyl t-shirts. The weeding. It's never fun. But some people are much better at it than I am, so that could be why. I have kind of tried to stick it all to this, and it's just not working. So it's going to take me a hot minute. Okay, we're getting there. Promise. Am I there yet? Oh my goodness. No, now that one don't want to come out. Someone once told me, you gotta bend it more. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. It still ain't working. So, we'll get there. Okay, come on. There we go. It's going now. Just had that one middle part. Maybe I didn't like stick it quite enough there. I don't know. No, right here too. Okay. And right here. Oh my goodness. All right, we're coming. Almost done, guys. Almost done. If you have stuck around this long, I am impressed. But this is kind of why I try to do things like in advance. You know, this whole going live thing, I just make such a mess of myself. But it might be entertaining for other people to see me screw up. Which is not really a screw up. It's just time consuming. And I feel like it'd be boring. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Almost done. Almost done. There we go. Is this E gonna go? Yay, no, yay, yes. All right, we're finally there. Okay. I did take, man. All right. So we might just be missing the inside of this E because I don't really want to fight it. So we're going to. It just is what it is. All right, so once you get it on here, and sometimes that's a process, right? Obviously, if you were watching, it can definitely be a process to get that to work. But you want to make sure you work out all the bubbles, just like if you were doing any kind of stencil. You want it to be like a flat surface, and because the vinyl is sticky, it sticks to this, which is super nice. It works just like if you've ever used our Magnolia stencils, it's real similar to that. There are some benefits of using both, and we'll kind of go over that when I'm all done with this project. But I actually like to take maybe like a little thing here and just kind of make sure it's all good and down, right? Then you got to pull up that transfer tape to get that surface apart. And I might need this for that. Y'all, I should have put my glasses on. I say that every time I do this stuff. I need my glasses. I'm too old not to wear them. But yet here I am not wearing them. Come on. Can't separate it if you're blind. Okay. Almost done. Maybe I need to pick a different corner. Oh, nope, I got it. Okay. So, push that baby back down. Come on. And pull that transfer tape up. And then I'll probably put that little E in there now. That little, yeah, there we go. All right, so we fixed it. Perfect. Now, when you pull this up, if you have really strong transfer tape, you got to be really careful to make sure that it doesn't pull it all the way up and create more bubbles. It can happen. I don't know if this transfer tape is just super strong or what it is, but man, I struggle with it's sticking to everything and then not to nothing at the same time. Anybody who's worked with vinyl totally understands, right? And you know, there's people, you watch them on like YouTube and stuff, and they do their vinyl t-shirts and they can knock them out so fast. And I'm going to tell you what, that is not me. Like, I cannot do it. That's why I prefer other processes. I prefer sublimation, or I will do, if I'm making shirts, I'll use the Magnolia Design Stencils. Something along those lines. Okay, but that's done. Okay, I go through again and make sure that that didn't pull up and create any bubbles, because underneath is screen print. That's screen print on this side, vinyl, just regular old-fashioned vinyl on this side. It's the Oracle 651 semi-permanent. That's what I use. Takes a little bit to get there. So that's why I'm saying you know, it's time consuming, but it's inexpensive and you can come up with your own design. So there is that. Just depending on, you know, and if you have a lot of scrap pieces and stuff, you're really not sure what you want to do with them. That's a really good idea too, is to just save them for stuff like this. But if you're not gonna do it, that's one thing. So here's where I'm at. Okay. If you can see, it's on the bottom. See, I've got it on the bottom. It's going to set like this. So it like dips down in there. I have a t-shirt, just a plain old fashioned cotton t-shirt I picked up from Hobby Lobby. And all I'm going to do is I want to make sure something's in between it. Let me grab some coffee, and you know what? I don't even know if I brought anything. So when you're moving studios, you find that you never have anything you need. I'm moving from one room to the next. Sometimes I have what I need, sometimes I don't. So we need to find something to put in between this and that. And I usually have, we use one of my mailers. Now, this is one of those things you don't have to spend a ton of money on, really. If you can use cardboard, wax paper, parchment paper. Magnolia Design Company puts out ink mats, which are great to go in between. And I have some, but like I said, I didn't even bring them. They're somewhere. I don't know where they're at right now, and I'm not going digging for them. So I'm just going to throw one of these little poly mailers that I have, because I do sell a lot of t-shirts out of my shop. And I keep those on hand. Unfortunately, or thankfully, they're not very expensive. So it's really not a big deal. Now, a couple things that you can use also to make sure that your design is lined out right. Do I have them? Yes, somewhere. I know I do. Here they are. They sell these things here. This is youth, infant. Where's my adult? Either way, they work. So toddler, youth, infant. We'll just go with this one. But these little things that you can find these at Hobby Lobby. You can find them at Michael's. Magnolia Design Company sells them. If you want them, let me know. But, you know, to kind of help you center and figure out where the center of your shirt is, it's kind of nice especially when you have the rounded necks. This is a V-neck, and I can see where that line is, so I really don't need it, but I'd like to keep it kind of flat anyways. So I am going to use it just a little bit, just for eyeballing purposes. And then I'm going to line out. I don't even know if that mailer is a good idea. I am deathly afraid that it's not going to be hard enough. So, bear with me. I'm coming right back. I promise someday I will be better prepared. Someday. Not today. When you go live, that's what you get, right? Okay, so I just have some plastic that I have from some tablecloths that I use when I do some resin. So I'm just going to throw that in between. That'll work. And then once I get off here, I will go find those inserts, because obviously I need them, right? Man. Okay. Going back to where I was. Now, the reason I switched that out is because that's a bubble mailer. That bubble mailer has some fabric and kind of soft, jumpy pushiness to it. Don't you love my terminology? Pushiness to it. And it's not going to be very effective when I go to smear it. It's just, I can tell already it would be a problem. And I've already struggled enough for you live. Let's try not to struggle too much more. So we're going back to this, kind of leveling it out. Figure out where I want it. And because it's a V-neck, you know, V comes down here. You want the words to kind of sit more like right in here. You don't want them way down. You don't want them on your belly. So sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out where and how far down to go when you're measuring out where your design goes on your shirts. I actually really like these for that purpose. It kind of helps me. The idea is your scoop is here, and down here is where your design should start. Not the top of your surface, not nothing like that. That's where your design should start. So if I were wearing a circle, it'd start right here, and that's exactly where I want it. This is a V-neck that I'm working with, so it's a little bit different, but I'm still using it to make sure it's centered and straight. Okay, so you've got your vinyl. Put on your silkscreen thing here, your silkscreen box. That silkscreen box, I know people are wondering, where in the world do you get that? You can get it at Hobby Lobby, you can get it at Michael's. I ordered these on Amazon. I order them in like 3 packs for like $10. Usually when I do a design, I want to be able to use it again, so I never use it for anything else. So that's not something you have to do. You can reuse it or whatever and do different designs with the same silk screen if you want to. But me personally, I don't. I pick a design, I go with it, I sell them in my shop. So I'm going to be making more of them. Okay, so next thing is ink. I'm using the Magnolia Design Company ink. They make a super high quality product ink that once I put this on my surface and then I heat set it, it's permanent. It's just like a screen print t-shirt, exactly like a screen print t-shirt. So I use this in conjunction with their stencils, and I'm actually going to show you that afterwards. But with this, I also use it for this too. There's multi-purposes for this ink. You can, however you want to do it. You don't even have to use this silk screen. You can use this like a stencil if you want to without the silk screen. I just like the silk screen look, so that's why I do it that way. Here's the problem, and here's where people screw up, and here's where I may screw up live with you because I do that regularly. This vinyl is already stuck to the silkscreen surface, right? So it's not going to stick to your t-shirt. I just noticed I screwed up on the end. That's what I'm fixing, guys. I moved it. Oh well, it's just staying like that. So here's the problem. When you're working with a stencil, say from Magnolia Design Company or some of the competitor companies, they have this sticky little back on them. And this is an example. And you just take that, it's got silk screen on the front, you just put it right on your surface and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it moving. When you're working with your own design and you create your own design, just like I just did, you got to be careful not to move this. It's got to stay where it's at. It's got to be a tight fit. So when you work, I'm going to open this up. I've got this pretty blue color that I decided I want to use. And the good thing is ink doesn't it doesn't dry real fast. So you have time to work with this. It doesn't have to be something that's just hurry up and get it done. I have a couple. Use this one. It's like a bigger squeegee. Also, Magnolia Design Company put that out. So I've got tons of them. So we're going to take this here and we're going to use this squeegee and we're going to just dip it in that ink. And that ink is like a weird, thicker, pasty type material. It's not like dripping ink like you'd think out of a pen or something. It's a thicker, like pasty type ink. And all you do is just squeegee it over the white parts of your surface and being extra careful not to move your surface. If this is your design and it's not one of, they're already laid out stencils that have the sticky on the back and you're doing this for yourself, just like you've done with me today, don't move it while you're applying your ink. That's the hardest part. Now, if you're working with an established stencil, it's not so difficult, and I'll show you why when we're done here. I'll do one so you can see that. I just need to get all this done. Okay. So if you didn't notice, it says sunshine and coffee. I am going to eventually, not right now, not live with you because you're probably already bored with me. But I am eventually going to put another little bit of something on the side, probably like a little sun or something. I just haven't done it. I want to do it in a different color. So I have to go through this whole process again. And I'm not going to sit and do that with you live. Not because I don't love your company, but because I'm a babbler and you're probably already bored. And as you can see, I struggle. So try to save myself a little bit of embarrassment there. Okay. So basically, once you get it all put on like that, I let it sit. Now, normally when you're working with a normal stencil, you don't let it sit too long, and you're not going to let it sit too long. You just, for a few extra seconds, let it kind of firm up a little bit because you don't want it to, move around or whatever. I make sure my hands are good and clean. If they're not, I keep Clorox wipes pretty close. But once I've just kind of let it sit for a few seconds, make sure it's all settled, there's nothing dripping or moving. And then the important part is to lift straight up. And it will kind of stick to your shirt. So you have to really, really be careful in order for it to work. There we go. And not stick. And it came out perfect. Okay? So, came out perfect. Just like that. I silk screened my own shirt, my own design. I didn't have to do anything else. Now, it did take some time. Now, keep in mind, before I got on here, I had to design it on my computer. That took me 15 minutes or so. Then I had to print it out on my Cricut, and then I had to weed it. Then I had to, put the transfer paper on, and then you watch me struggle here with this. So it's not like it's always a super easy process. It takes time. Also, when you're working with your own design like that, if I peel this off, it can never be used again. It's done. We got one t-shirt out of it. Done. There's nothing else you can do. I'm actually going to leave it on here, and I'm going to clean it with some Clorox wipes, and I'll make a couple more, put it in my shop. It'll be fine. This one will just go up and just stay there. This is just my stencil now. I've designed this stencil. I use it over and over again. But if you're just going to do one stencil and it's your design, that's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. Okay? Just so you know, that's one of the definite cons about doing a stencil this way. But it is your own design. Now, if we're going to compare, the final process is the same on both of them. I need to let this dry, and then I'm going to put like a piece of maybe parchment paper over the top, throw it on the heat press for 20-30 seconds, and boom, it's set. It's not going nowhere. It's permanent. We can wash it, whatever, permanent. That Magnolia ink is fantastic. That's why I buy it. That's why I love it. That's why I talk about it all the time. That's why I recommend it, because you can do so much. I'm going to set that over here. And now we'll kind of move into the versatility of utilizing already finished stencils, already finished pieces that have, there's just, Magnolia Design Company has so many different, and there's other competing companies that offer a silkscreen stencil like this that are reusable, super easy, super quick. It's going to take me all of a couple seconds to finish out this project, where that one took me, maybe if I wouldn't have been babbling and worrying about, going live, maybe an hour to make one t-shirt. And I'm not even done. Like I said, I'm adding a little bit more to it in a different color. I just have to make the design, print it out, get it on a silk screen, right? So this is going to take me 2 seconds. And that's kind of the benefit of doing both. I do it all. I have a lot of different ideas and things like that. And sometimes I want to do my own design. So that's perfect. But sometimes I want something quick and fast. Like right now, I picked up these Richardson hats, by the way. Super nice hats. Richardson hats from Jiffy. What is it called? Jiffy Shirts or whatever online. I got like 10 of them, maybe. And I could use vinyl, and I have the heat press hat thing. But there's just something about it I just don't like. And I don't know why. I just don't like it. So instead, I'm going to use I don't know if you can see that. My lighting is so weird. 1776 stars around the outside. I'm going to kind of just put it on the side. And it's funny because I actually saw a design very similar to this on Chad Prather's hat. He was wearing one not too long ago. I don't know if y'all know who he is or not, but he has been running for governor for the state of Texas. He's a comedian, totally funny. But I saw him go live the other day, and he had a hat on that was almost the same color. And I went, oh, hey, I have that hat. And then it looked really, really similar to this. He had this on, and I was like, on the hat, and it was on the corner. And I'm like, hey, I think I even have that stencil. I'm going to make that. So that's what I'm doing. It'll take just a couple seconds. I don't know if I'll ever wear it. My husband will, though. Maybe. I don't know. Is that a guy color? Maybe. He might. So the super easy part about working with Magnolia Design Company versus making your own screen print stencil. I peel it off. I stick it once or twice on my tacky towel. I place it wherever I want it to go. Like I said, I'm going to kind of really put it over off to the side, down below. Now, working with the curved surface has its struggles, but that's probably the biggest struggle that I will have here. Make sure all the bubbles are out. Okay. Grabbing a squeegee, and I'm using a small one. This is a small space. I use a small one most of the time for everything anyways. I'm really hoping that ain't too close to that line. We'll find out when it's done, right? Okay. Then I'm going to use the same type of ink, but this time I'm using white. Same company, same brand. Same thing. It's permanent. This stuff will also work on glass. It'll, if you want to have like decorate your cups, like this was actually a gift for my sister, but you can put things like this on your cups and stuff utilizing this ink. All you got to do is bake it for a little while. My hot cocoa and protein juice, protein mix, protein drink. Maybe that's a better word. Protein drink. All right. So I have, the other day I was looking for some white. I didn't have any when I was live, so I went and found a jar. And of course, it isn't even open yet. And I have no nails. People wonder, you're in real estate. How do you not have nails? I'll tell you why. Because this is stuff I do all the time on my own time, and I make a mess. Okay. All right. So we have the stencil on the hat, just like that. Okay. And now all I'm going to do is take my squeegee, dip it in the white, make sure it's good and the right type of mix. Sometimes you get it might need to be stirred a little bit or something. You just need to check it. Usually not, though. Usually it's fine. And all I'm going to do is just like I did on that one, I'm just going to squeegee over the open spaces, the silk screened areas, just like that. Okay, almost there. Okay, perfect. So now that I'm done with that, all I'm going to do is peel it off. Oh man, and it bled so bad. But normally that doesn't happen. I don't know why that did that. That's crazy. Now I'll have to clean it up. But for the most part, that's as easy as it is. So when you're working with Magnolia Design Company, I don't know if there's a lot of liquid in this that I wasn't aware of or what, but that's driving me insane already. Maybe I didn't press it down all the way. If you don't press it down all the way, that can happen. At least, you know, I'm showing you how easy it is to screw things up, right? Twice today. But normally this is I mean, that's all it takes to do that. So, I mean, the time involved in working with something like this, it's usually super easy. You don't usually have any problems. There's always room for error, obviously. Um, but you could also make your own design. Takes a little more time, a little bit more work, but you can do it. It's totally possible. But if you want something that's already pre-designed, you want to kind of make your own stuff or put something together, um, quickly, or if you want to have a crafting day with your friends and, you don't want to sit there and go, trying to design and make all those things all by yourself for hours at a time. I mean, not everybody has the luxury of having like a big screen print, machine and those big, I don't know, what are those things called? Those big flopper things with the dryers. And I'm very much at home. So if I'm going to, if I'm going to make something, it's going to be quick and easy, right? So I'm sorry that did turn out, guys. I'm actually going to go through and fix it and figure out why that happened. But normally that is not the case. I have honestly never, ever, ever done that on a hat. And I'm guessing that's just my luck. I'm still going to be going live every now and then, y'all. But I appreciate you joining me. That's really all I got for you. If you ever want to make your own stencils, super simple. If you have a vinyl cutter, if you don't have a vinyl cutter, you can still take vinyl and cut it out the old-fashioned way with like an X-Acto knife or whatever. There's a lot of different ways to do it. And you just put it, on your silkscreen surface. You can buy these at Amazon, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, art supply stores. Super easy. And you just put them down there and then use your Magnolia ink and it works the same way. If that's too much for you, just buy the pre-made stencils. I promise you, normally that doesn't happen. I mean, it does sometimes, obviously, but not on an average basis. So if you have any questions or if you need anything, just let me know. I would love to help you. I am going live later this evening. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it, guys? 5 o'clock. So probably more like 7, 8, somewhere in there later in the evening, I'm going to do some painting. And I'll tell you why, because when it comes to painting, I actually prefer to do it later at night when I can't sleep. It's just kind of my release, kind of lets my mind go. But I did get that background. It is dry. If you joined me yesterday for my live, it is a watercolor painting. I like bright, fun colors when I paint. So this watercolor is dry and it's ready for the next step. I'm going to tackle that this evening if you want to join me. If you don't, check back. I will post it on my page so everybody can see. I can't promise I'll finish it tonight. Just kind of depends on how things go. If it goes anything like how it went today, I might just give up and walk away for a while. But thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Happy Saturday. Stay warm. All right. Bye.